On today's episode of Nerdy Dating, we talk about doing boyfriend-girlfriend things with somebody that you're not even in a relationship with. We also talk about should you keep dating somebody if they're dating multiple people at once, but you're also not in a relationship with, and you only went on one date. Stick around, because this episode gets a little bit, I don't know, wild is the word, but let's just say we dive in. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. I am your host, Zakka, and thank you guys for watching, listening, and sharing the podcast. I really appreciate y'all. Please continue to share with your friends and family. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's first topic. It is an Instagram reel that was sent to me. It's from a creator. Her name is Squallbox, and she said, "I wish I could have made this up." So let's see what is it that she wished she could have made up, and hopefully it's not too bad, but we're gonna find out right now.
If you think your dating life is bad, let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you a story. See that back there? That's a suitcase. On Monday, I drove 3.5 hours to go visit a guy because he's in the army and he just never could come visit me, whatever.
Okay.
So I drive out there to go spend time with him and be close that I can see him every day for 5 days. I come over, he makes me dinner the first night, burnt the dinner to a crisp. Nothing against it, most men can't cook, not surprised. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make dinner tomorrow night. So tomorrow, the next day, I just go drive around and I go grocery shopping and I get like $30 worth of groceries to make like a chicken garlic parm dinner. I go back to his place. For 2 hours, I am cooking so that the house smells good when he gets home and that he has something hot and ready to eat when he gets home. So I make this dinner. I prepare it. It's in the oven. He doesn't want to eat when he gets home right away, which, like, whatever. He's like, I'm going to go work out and then I'm going to eat. And I was like, cool. So he goes and works out. He comes out and we eat dinner. Does not say thank you for cooking the food. He does not say thank you for buying the food. And he doesn't even really compliment. He was just like, at the end, it was like, oh, it was good. That was it. And so then I do the dishes and I clean up. He kind of piddles in there a little bit and like dries and puts away the dishes. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he had a long day at work. You know what? I have no idea. He's in the army. Who knows? Who knows what kind of day he had? So I was like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. So the next day I go out and I get more groceries. I buy the groceries. I go back and I make dinner. He comes home a little early and he goes straight to his bedroom. And I'm like, okay. So I wait an hour and a half and I'm like, well, he's still not out here, so I'm gonna make dinner and eat because I'm hungry. And it's like 6:30 at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm making dinner. So I make a quesadilla for me. I make extra and put it in the microwave for him. He comes out like 45 minutes later after I finish eating. I've already washed my dish and put it away, and I'm just sitting on the couch talking to a friend. He literally, I was like, hey, dinner, I made dinner, it's in the microwave for you. And he was like, cool. Goes in, grabs it, literally walks right back to his bedroom. Right back to his bedroom and sits in there and eats the quesadillas that I made by himself. And I know I'm really worked up about it because right now it is 10:30 at night and I am going home a day early because I'm not doing this. I'm going to be home at 1 a.m. I don't care. So he comes back out and I was like, so what'd you think of it? And he was like, it was good. Tasted like an actual quesadilla. It tasted like an actual quesadilla because it was an actual quesadilla, okay? It was an actual quesadilla. I was like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm not making dinner tomorrow night. I'm just not doing it. I'm not spending more money on this ungrateful man. So he comes back from work and he's like, hey, what you been doing? You just been chilling today? I'm like, yep, just been chilling. Calling people back home, they're checking in on me, whatever. And he was like, okay, I didn't know if you made dinner or anything. I'm like, I made dinner. No, I did not. So I was like, do you want to watch a movie tonight? And he was like, well, I think I'm going to just work out and make some dinner. And I was like, okay, cool. So he works out, he burns something in the kitchen for dinner. And I'm literally like waiting to see if he's done and we can watch a movie. Goes back to his bedroom like a troll, like a hermit. And so I go and I sit on the couch and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch a movie. So I walk out there to go sit on the couch and select a movie. And I hear this man in his bedroom talking to another woman. And I literally have the receipts on this, but he's literally in his bedroom playing a game, talking to another woman. And like the first night that I came over, he was like, I'm gonna go back and play my game. And I'm like, I wonder if he's just been talking to this chick the whole time. So I was I was on the phone with my friend. I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm gonna just make up some crappy story and I'm leaving. So I packed up all my stuff. I put it by the door and I knocked on his door and I hear him, oh, hold on a second. Somebody's knocking at my door. I'm gonna hang up and I'll call you back. I'm like, somebody is me, that person that drove 3.5 hours and took time off work where she could have been earning money to spend time with you. Yeah, that's that someone. So he opens the door and I'm like, hey, my mom's having a medical emergency. She's in the ER. I gotta go home. Total lie, super fabricated. I mean, I really should have just told him straight up that I think you're boring. I think you have no manners. And why are you talking to another girl in your bedroom? Like, while one is sitting on the couch, literally in your own home. So yeah, I am currently driving home. I am set to arrive at around 1:30 a.m. back in Mississippi. I'm so sick of dating. I'm so sick of dating because I don't know what it is about me, but I just attract the douchiest men. Like the douchiest men. And this is terrible. At least I have enough self-worth, I think, to leave. I'm not going to stick around. But, like, at the same time, why does this keep happening? What did I do? What did I do wrong? I was never messy. I cleaned his house while he was at work. I swept the floors. I cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned the plastic he burnt off his stove the night before. I cleaned his bathroom. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I might be doing too much, honestly. I might be doing too much. It's not that I'm not doing enough. But like, I'm a traditional kind of gal. Like, you open the door for me, you carry my bags, like you say thank you if I cook for you. You should want to spend time with me. Otherwise, I don't know why we're even considering dating. Like, this is just, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, that's my rant. So if you think your dating life sucks, mine's probably worse. It's not that bad because I always get out of it, but like, this keeps happening. And this one is the worst because I actually drove here. He would not even come to visit me. He would not come to visit me first. And I drove here. I spent my gas. I spent my money on groceries. I spent my time cooking and cleaning. And yeah, this is what it has amounted to. So I blocked him, so he's hopefully not going to see this video. But if he does, dude, you got to step up your game because you suck. You are boring. You're so boring. And you need some serious manners, and I don't think you're ready to date because I don't think you know how to treat a woman, or you're just a player and a cheater. So, yeah, I'm disgusted with dating. So the next guy that takes me on a date better impress me, or I might be an old hag that lives by herself with her farm animals. I'm just like, ah! I was literally shaking when I knocked on his door and I was picking up my bag sleeve because I was like so upset. I was like, this is bad. This is bad. So yeah, that is my fun story. I wish it was fake, but I don't even think I have the creative juices to create something like that in my head. But yeah, dating sucks.
All right, let's break this down here, cause that's so. She said dating sucks, and she's like, this keeps happening to me. So, and she's like, what is she doing wrong? And she asks, am I giving too much? And the answer is yes, you are giving too much. When I first listened to this, I was like, she didn't say that's her boyfriend. She said this is a guy she just met. I don't know how long they was talking. It was maybe talking for a couple of weeks, maybe talking for 5 or 6 days. But the guy that she just met, and she drove 3 hours to meet him and stay at his place, and he didn't want her there. For whatever reason, why he agreed to letting her in, I don't know. And he's wrong for having her come that way to her and having her do all these things. But if you probably talk to him, sit him down, he probably was like, I didn't ask her to cook. I didn't ask her to clean. She did it on her own. Which I'm like, okay, this is a guest in your place. Why are you letting somebody else cook and clean for you? Why aren't you doing anything to pretty much show them that, hey, this is my place, this is my casa, mi casa, your casa. Let's make sure that we take care of you. Make sure I show you a good time within my house. But that's not what happened. She did everything for him. He just kept minding his business. Didn't want her there, and he wasn't brave enough, or he didn't have the audacity, or he didn't have the courage enough to tell her, hey, I don't want you here. I thought we might have a connection. We don't have a connection. Actually, I'm gonna let you go. But also the fact that he talked to a girl on the phone in the other room while playing a video game will also make me think that maybe he has a partner, he has a girlfriend, he has somebody, and he was talking to them, and for whatever reason, don't know why, because he didn't try to hook up with her. She would have mentioned that. They didn't have that situation, so I don't know why he would have somebody drive 3 hours to their place and do all that. And he's like, all right, get to eat clean, get a clean house, get to eat some food and work out and mind my own business. So he's not the hook here. He's definitely in the wrong. He should have been up front. One, if he has a girlfriend or a partner, or maybe he doesn't have a girlfriend. Maybe he was just talking to another girl at the same time and just seeing what can he get out there in the dating world and having different partners. Because if they're both single and they're not in a relationship, and he's allowed to talk to other women. Now, he talked to other women while, she is there? No, that's disrespectful. He should have been respectful and at least, have a conversation with her and at least tell her, like, hey, after day one, I'm sorry. Thank you for driving down here. Thank you for this. I just don't see us having a connection. I know this sucks to hear this from me. If you want to say you can, if you want a ride back, or you want you can say you can, but I just don't see this going anywhere. And she could have had a decision like, I'm going to leave, or I'll leave in the morning, whatever the case would be. All right, cool. Her feelings be hurt. She probably try to attack him verbally, whatever the case would be, but because she's in the moment. Or she might be cordial and be like, hey, thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it. It hurts, but thank you. I wish you the best as well, and leave. But he didn't do that. They had a full conversation, and she cooked for him and everything. He kind of acknowledged her, but then went on by his business. Now, as far as she's saying, what am I doing wrong? There are things that are called like relationship stuff, boyfriendy things, girlfriendy things that you shouldn't give somebody if you're not in the boyfriend or girlfriend stage. This, driving 3 hours away, staying in somebody's place, cooking for them daily, cleaning up for them daily, and not even in a relationship with them is a thing that you should preserve for until you're in a relationship with somebody. You shouldn't be giving that off right off the bat. Now you want to tell somebody like, hey, I can clean up, I can do this, I want to do that at the kindness of my heart, go for it. But if you're trying to do this to impress somebody, to show that, hey, I am worthy of this, then that's not what you should be doing. I understand you want to be treated like how you want to treat others, how you want to be treated. You will prefer a man to do the same thing for you, clean up, cook, and stuff like that. And you will say, hey, this is the world you can have if you date me. But those things should not come on first meeting. On meeting number one, you shouldn't be clean up somebody's place on the first date if you ain't haven't had a first traditional date yet. He didn't take you out. He let you come to his place. For some reason, he didn't go out. He didn't take her to a restaurant or, heck, a Cheesecake Factory or a Chili's or Applebee's or Olive Garden. He didn't take her to any of those places. They didn't have a traditional date. She came to his place and she cooked for him and stayed at his place and all this stuff. And he took advantage of the situation. He took advantage of it. He got to eat free meals. He got to get a clean place. But he didn't care for her. And she decided to stay around for that. And then to the point where she got the hint, it was like, all right, something's up here. Something's not right. He's not acknowledging me. Let me go see what's going on. And when she heard the woman on the phone, she was like, oh, all right. Well, you're not being grateful for the fact that I cleaned for you. He didn't ask for it. He didn't have to say thank you. Is it rude for him for not saying thank you? Yes. But he didn't ask for it. That's not something I would look at. I would look at the whole, how can you treat somebody like this where somebody else is here? How can you let somebody sit on your couch that you're supposed to be pretending to pursue, pretending to charm them and pretending to court them? And they're sitting on the couch while you're in your room playing video games, talking to who knows who, your girlfriend, some other girl you're talking to, who knows, somebody you're more interested in. Okay, you're a dater, bachelor, have fun. But be upfront and honest with people. And for her, she needs to figure out what her standards are. She needs to know, like, okay, I won't do X, Y, and Z on first date. I need to learn to get to know somebody first. I need to go meet them in person or have a visual or voice time call that's 3 hours away and have a conversation. Once somebody's 3 hours away and y'all can't meet halfway, all right, that may be a connection you probably shouldn't have met yet, or just think like, all right, if it goes south, it goes south. Or, hey, if I go there, are we going to go out to eat? Like those things. One, your first date, you got to get to know the person first. Today's modern dating, it's not like back in 1990s, 1980s, where you can go out to somebody's place and most likely be down to meet with you and talk with you and have a conversation. You have so many more options today. Like you don't have a small pool of options. You have so many more options that maybe 3 hours away was the closest city to somebody get to meet and, a bunch of people there. But let the person, if you're going to go on a date, first date, let it be somewhere neutral. Let it be somewhere where you're not over their place. Let it be somewhere where you get to have an option to sit down and talk to him, because he was in his house. He completely ignored her. Yeah, the first day he talked to her, but after that he went and ignored her. He went to his room. She sat on the couch or wherever she sat at. If they went to a restaurant, got coffee, went and got something, an entertainment date where they went and play bowling or something like that, where they had the opportunity to sit and talk to each other and get to see what each other really wanted and how to play off each other. She could have seen it like, okay, this dude's not really into me. She called him boring, but I don't think he's boring. He just prided. He was legit trying to find a way to get her out. And he was like, all right, I'm going to completely shut her down. And she's like, oh, well, he's boring. He actually not boring. He just didn't want to talk to you. He didn't want you there. And yet, for some reason, I don't know why he let you come in, but he didn't want you there. So as far as you go, you need to stick to your standards. Stick to, hey, I don't want to start cooking for somebody until I have enough conversation and have a big enough connection with them where we both vibe, and I feel like this is going both ways. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't throw everything into one thing until you're certain that, all right, we're going to be in a relationship. Until then, you need to keep your option open. He was 1,000%. So you was doing too much right off the bat. This is the first meeting, 3 hours away. You're not even boyfriend, girlfriend. You were doing too much right off the bat. Will there be a guy that will appreciate you cooking and cleaning? Yes. Will that happen? Yes. Is date one that day? No. Unless you're inviting them to your place and you say you're going to cook and clean for them, that's one thing. But going to their place and cooking and cleaning for them, that's a whole other thing. That's something that you should wait until at least boyfriend, girlfriend stage. Or maybe you're like on the precipice of becoming boyfriend, girlfriend, where you're in that like, hey, we've been dating for 4 months, talking for 5 months. What are we? And when I say dating and talking, they're the same thing. We've been dating, talking for 4 months. What are we? What are we? And they establish that relationship. Like you're in that part right there. But other than that, you shouldn't be doing this on night one. Night one should be pretty much getting to know each other and knowing what goals and visions and what you want out of a relationship. What do you want out of a partner? Get to know each other. And also know that, hey, maybe you want casual, maybe he doesn't want casual. He wasn't trying to make a move. I think he purely just didn't want you there because probably his girlfriend's coming back, or the girl he's talking to is actually coming over sometime soon. And he was like, I can get her out. She can come over. But yeah, as far as what you did, you just went in way too early, way too quick. And you're going to get hurt if you keep doing that. That's one thing I would say. You will get hurt if you keep going in too quick, diving in head first versus taking your time, getting to meet somebody, and start doing certain stuff like, all right, I won't cook and clean until we're boyfriend, girlfriend. I won't do X, Y, and Z until we made that stage, had that connection where I can do that. I remember one time back when I was dating, I'll never forget this. I was like, I'm going to Barnes and Nobles, and the girl's like, oh, you should buy me a book. And I was like, we haven't even been on a first date yet. You don't deserve book Brian yet. And it's weird to say that to somebody deserving, but you don't deserve that. You haven't worked that way up to have that establishment built between me where I'm comfortable enough to buy you something right off the bat that you can hold on to forever and be like, oh, this book I got. Like, imagine that conversation. I went on one date with somebody, bought somebody a book, and they're like, they don't even take value in the fact that I bought them a book. Like that kind of stuff. You wait and preserve until later in dating. That's not a date one thing. That is maybe, date 5, date 6, 4 months, 5 months, 3 months. No, so a little bit longer. First meeting, no. you're not dating douchebags. You're dating guys who probably just don't want you around. You're dating guys who are not confident enough to say like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I don't think you're dating douchebags, but you're definitely going in too early right now. So once you realize, you take a step back and don't just dive straight in, especially before you made the what are we conversation, you'll find yourself meeting the right person, taking your time and getting to know somebody versus jumping right in and expecting the world from somebody who's not ready to give you the world. All right, Reddit time. So this first Reddit one is, I asked him on a coffee date and he said no. Well, we are classmates and I've liked him for a long time. He kind of knew that I liked him from his friends. I decided that I'll ask him for a coffee date and confess to him. I texted him that I'm getting coffee at so-and-so time. Do you want coffee? He said no. I am kind of busy and I got the underlying answer. He is very introverted, more than I am. This is like all put together, words all put together and everything. They're not really, comments are missing, stuff like that. But here we are. He is very introverted, more than I am, so I expected him to say that. My friend said I need to ask him again, but I don't think I'm ready for another no. I still like him because he's a good guy, and we're going to be attending classes together for 2 more years. I don't want to make it awkward. Does it get easy? I asked him on a coffee date and he said no. He didn't really say no. You asked him, hey, I'm going to get coffee. Would you like some? Do you want coffee? And he said no. He didn't say no to you. He said no to getting coffee. This is not a good example of asking somebody on a date. If you want to ask somebody on a date, you have to be upfront and honest. Hey, may I invite you on a coffee date? Just the two of us. I wanted to talk to you. Can I invite you on a date? Can we go to a coffee date? You ask, I'm going to go get coffee. And do you want some? He said no. That's not no to you. That was no to coffee. If you told him I want to go on a coffee date, see what he says then. Can I take you on a coffee date? That is a different question altogether. So you won't make it awkward. You ask again. And if he gets awkward from this and he says no to you and you get awkward, but you didn't ask him a question. You didn't ask him a question on a date. You asked him for coffee and you asked him if he wanted coffee, and the answer that he wanted right there that moment was no, he didn't want coffee. So those are two different things. If you want to see where it goes, ask him again, but that wasn't a question. You didn't ask. All right, next one here. Should I continue dating her? A few weeks ago, I went on an amazing date with this girl I met on Hinge. We really vibed together and agreed to go on a second date after she gets back from Italy. Okay. I've stopped using Hinge since I met her, but checked it briefly today to find that she has completely new stack of pictures. Okay. So, you just went on one date with a girl, and you already stopped using Hinge. First thing, don't do that. That's the first thing. You're getting too invested way too quick. But let me keep going. After seeing that, my interest in her dropped 100%. God, dude, 100%? Y'all not boyfriend and girlfriends. Okay, the thought of her exploring other options, especially on vacation, makes me think I didn't mean crap to her. Also, the type of girl that uses dating apps on vacation isn't the type of girl I think I want to take seriously. All right, that's fair. That's your prerogative. You don't want to take somebody seriously because they're using a dating app on vacation while also still single. She's not in a relationship with you, and therefore she can do that. You will probably do the same thing. If you want to date with a girl and then went on a dating app or went on vacation, you probably would do the same thing. And you know for yourself that you're not taking that person that you just want to date with seriously. And that's why you're like, I'm going to do this. She shouldn't do the same thing. But things is, like we talked in the previous episode, what one partner does, another one can do the different thing doesn't mean the same thing. They can have two different thought processes. So just because she's on a dating app and updated her picture and probably want to meet people overseas in Italy doesn't mean she's taking you out the bucket as an option. But all right, let me keep going. And also, I know I'm going in on you right here, but it's also your prerogative to say, I don't want to date somebody who gets on dating apps on a vacation. All right, cool. You're just shutting off some people that you might meet. But let's keep going. Let me take a step back to say, I know it's only been one date. You know it. And she has every right to explore her options. All right, cool. So you are very cognizant and aware of this. On the other hand, her profile changing is a huge red flag along with her frequent bar hopping and partying with friends. Okay, so she likes bar hopping, she likes partying. You don't. All right, there's a compatibility thing here. That's fine. Given what I said, would you continue to date this girl? All right. So will you continue to date this girl? What do you want? That would be my question to you. Given what you say you don't like the fact she parties and bar hops. So that's right there's one thing you're not compatible with right there. You don't apparently like partying and bar hopping. She's going to go party and bar hop. Even when y'all together and dating, because she's dating you doesn't mean she's going to shut it down. She might like going out getting drinks with her friend. She might like going to dance out there. She don't have to dance with anybody else. She'll just dance with her friends in a little circle and not have another man contact her, but she might like dancing. So the fact that she like partying and bar hopping, you don't. It just means right there and there, that's the first thing. That's going to be an issue down the line because she's going to continue doing it. She's not stopping doing this because of you. And if she does stop to do it because of you, she might find herself being miserable. And do you want to date somebody who's miserable? No. You do. You're out. Let's be honest with this. You don't want to date her. You find her attractive, great. But you don't like the fact that she goes overseas and goes and changes her profile picture. She can do that. Just because you meet somebody on one date, you haven't had enough establishment to connect, have that connection and have that compatibility or that connection and that emotional level where y'all together and that, like, oh yeah, we were bonded. One date is not going to create that bond. Like the girl previously to these Reddit reads, she didn't go on that first date and she was doing boyfriend and girlfriend things with somebody who's not even her boyfriend, who hasn't seen her in date 4 and 5 yet. You're doing the same thing. You're about to hop, but you're hopping out because you're like, oh, it's one date, but she's changed her profile thing. Okay, that's cool. That can be an issue, but that doesn't shut somebody off. But the fact that you feel that way, then, hey, man, you're not really in it. And what you're saying, the overlying thing here is not really the profile change. It's the party and bar hopping that you're not settled on. You see this another red flag and you're like, she's in the wrong. Now I can end it. Or now I have a reason to let it go. Look, man, if you're not into partying and bar hopping, then let it go right there. That's all you need to know. Find a partner who's not into the same, who's into whatever you're into, and who's not into partying and bar hopping, and you'll find yourself a better partner. All right, he did make some edits because he read a bunch of people's comments. Reading all the comments have been productive, and I'd like to share my takeaways. So these are some of the takeaways from the comments he had here. So let's see if he had a little bit of enlightenment. I was too invested in this girl. Her changing her profile was a reality check that I didn't know I needed. That was one. Okay. 2, dating multiple at once is the expectation nowadays. People who seek out others' options at a time do exist, but are relatively rare. Oh, people who seek out one option at a time do exist, but are relatively rare. Yes. If I want to be the type to see out one option at a time and expect that from who I'm dating, it needs to be communicated as soon as possible. Okay. And then 4, I am not wrong for being less interested in her, knowing that she at least talking to other guys. Yeah. And it's justified. And just to clarify, she does nothing wrong, and I'm not mad at her or anyone. I was just feeling foolish now for thinking she was more invested in me. She could be invested in you, dude. But the fact that, like, she's keeping her options open, because think about this. If you're dating for marriage, you're dating to meet a partner you're going to be with for life. For life. And if divorce is on the table, you're going to be with them for life. So think about that. Think about, you're making a life decision. You want to find somebody that's most compatible with you, that meets you the most, that connects with you the best. And you want to find that partner that does that. And it's going to take dating around. You don't want to just jump right into the pool with somebody that you met on one date with and you're not really sure how it goes. Heck, you ever watch Love is Blind? They're in the pods for like 2 weeks and they're dating multiple people before they finally pick one person to get engaged with. dating is the same way. So the thing is, dating apps, you change your picture up so people can see what aspect are you. She probably is interested in you, but the fact that like she keep her options open, she's like, just seeing what else is out there before I make a commitment and go on a few more dates. But if that's not what you're into, that's perfectly fine. And you want to date somebody one at a time, that's perfectly fine. You just need to be upfront and honest with that. But understand that dating apps, you're going to meet somebody who's dating multiple people at once. Even if you're swiping right on people, you're trying to connect with multiple people at once. So it's going to be a lot harder to find somebody who dates one at a time unless you meet them at work or meet them out in the wild. Other than that, it's going to be hard to do. But and you do understand that. So if you continue to date this girl, you shouldn't continue to date this girl. But hey, man, at least you got something out of it. All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next episode and keep being awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating, you want to put it in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching this show. I appreciate you and keep being awesome.